let's get to the marquee fight of the weekend, which seems weird because, like Rob said, for us hardcores, Teofimo Lopez, Richard Commey is the fight of the weekend. It is. But the main event is Terrence Crawford fighting his mandatory Janis Kavaliauskas, I think from Lithuania, I want to say. The undefeated fighter who has a draw with Ray Robinson, not that Ray Robinson, obviously. And, I mean, this seems to me like one of the easiest fights in Terrence Crawford's career at this point. Like, you go back to his 140 run, his run at 135 even. This seems like one of the easiest matchups that he's had to this point. I don't see how he doesn't get Kavaliauskas out of here within 4 rounds, to be honest. Especially if Crawford's in a mood, which he seems to be during fight week right now, of kind of having a chip on his shoulder, being upset with the media, being upset with fans, being upset with his current situation in the welterweight division. And hopefully he takes out that rage on Kavaliauskas so we don't have a prolonged fight here, because Crawford doesn't need to be on his bike, doesn't need to really box with Kavaliauskas. He can run through him, in my opinion. So I expect a quick performance here from Terrence Crawford. Guys, thoughts on the ESPN main event? Rob or Gary?
Okay. I mean, he did fight John Molina. Let's keep that in perspective. But no, should be an easy fight.
This is worse. This is worse.
Because at least John Molina had the power. If he caught lightning in a bottle, he could knock anybody out. But, that wasn't going to happen. Yeah. I mean, there's no path to victory for the Mean Machine. I mean, there's no way he can win, barring Roy Jones Jr. hits him when he's down, disqualification win. So, again, we'd call it a tune-up fight, but it was a mandatory that, Bob Arum got called because they had no other options. It's for the best fighter in the world to be fighting in a couple of days and there to be no hype around it. It kind of tells you what kind of fight it is. I mean,
yeah,
it'll still probably do decent numbers. That combined with the Commey Lopez fight, which I can't wait for us to give our predictions on. Commey Lopez honestly should be the feature, should be the headline fight, because Crawford versus Kavaliauskas is. We're just gonna find out how tough Kavaliauskas is. Will he last 2 rounds? Will he go 6 or 7? I mean, how tough is he? I guess we'll find that out.
Just go with Mean Machine, Gary, please. Kavaliauskas. Kavaliauskas.
Rob, your prediction for the main event? Crawford.
Well, just Terrence Crawford whenever he wants to finish it. Basically, in my opinion, he's a 12-1 favorite. Kavaliauskas is about a plus 650 for people in the UK. It's 13-2. So, yeah, the bookies don't tend to get it wrong too often. I know they have in major ways this year. It's been a bit of the year of the upset, but this would be they are right up there with.
This is the biggest upset if it were to happen. It won't happen.
This is bigger than if Ruiz beat Joshua.
Because Ruiz fought for a championship at one point, had a deep amateur career, had only lost 1 fight to Joseph Parker, which is a champion, a former champion now.
Which he arguably won, and Ruiz was probably a top 10 to 12 heavyweight at that time. Kavaliauskas isn't anyone's top 10 or 12 at 147. He's not anyone's top 20.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys that I think are like straight prospects that should beat Kavaliauskas. Hell, even put like Ray Robinson back in a rematch. I think Ray Robinson beats him. But back to you, Rob.
No, just pure numbers. Betting odds. He's half the price that Ruiz was. But anyway, yeah, it'd still be a major shock if he was to pull it off somehow. But this is a Crawford easy, like you say, sort of manufactured mandatory. I mean, he would have been called at whatever point, but
they
sort of rushed it. Can we just make this as the mandatory and whatever? And yes, so at least that's out of the way, I guess. But yeah, I believe there's if people want to go and attend, you don't need to hurry because there's, I think, quite a lot of tickets left.
Plenty of seats.
So I mean, a shame because like we'd saying the co-main would be a main event on any other day for Commey and Lopez for the IBF lightweight title. But Yeah.
There's no way. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Rob. But there's no way you put those guys above Crawford. Like Crawford's just a bigger star than all those guys combined.
That would be the final straw if they said, "Yeah, we got you a fight date, Terrence. You're on the undercard of Lomachenko. Lopez and Commey." That would be it. Game over.
Both would automatically mean that Crawford's looking for his exit plan from Top Rank immediately.
If he isn't already.
And plus, just from a pure business sense, like Commey and Lopez are completely unproven TV numbers and draws, while Crawford's a proven TV draw. His last fight with Benavidez did really good numbers. I want to say that the average was like, again, off the top of my head, like 2.1, 2.4 million with a peak of like over 3 million, I want to say, which was huge for ESPN. So even with a bad opponent with no hype, the tickets aren't selling in New York, Crawford is still your hope to have some sort of a good viewership for your network. When ESPN has been struggling for viewership this year, I think they only have like 1 or 2 events in the top 20 in terms of viewership this year, and that's not that impressive, to be honest, for ESPN. Unless, Gary, I saw you had something to say about that?
Well, Lomachenko versus
Campbell
was on in the middle of the afternoon. That hurts.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And then, then have your other two big names, Crawford and Fury, fight better guys. Then maybe you'll get a better rating.
Well, it's not that. They were fighting on non-TV.
They're fighting. Wait, this is on the Plus again?
No. But in terms of their last fights this year, they weren't on TV. So like ESPN, like Crawford Khan pay-per-view. That's not TV.
Yeah, that one was. But
all Fury's fights have been ESPN Plus, so you don't get a TV rating off of that. They've never experimented with that, which is weird. He's your big heavyweight. You've never put him on ESPN.
That's a ridiculous model. Yeah, that's the guy you'd want to put on regular ESPN and get a big number.
So wait, 300 million ESPN Plus subscribers?
3.5 million, not 300 million.
Oh, it's just Tyson signed with them because he's going to be in 300 million homes across the US, right?
Oh, I didn't connect what you're doing there, Rob. That's a good one.
Close to that many homes. I think there's only like 110 million or something. But Matt, the second fight, the Valine fight, that was on the app too?
Yes, it was.
That is horrible. That is so.
Very quick. Do you think Benavidez, Kavaliauskas, how would that go?
Oh, in terms of like who would win? Benavidez
is pretty
like easily.
Yeah. I think Benavidez would beat like the Ray Robinsons of the world. I think Benavidez could beat like a Josh Kelly of the world. Benavidez would lose to like maybe a Jamal James, the Ugas, the Lipinets, like that little range. But then again, all those guys, Benavidez, Ugas, Lipinets, Jamal James, they're all around the same level of the division in my mind. They're that back half of the top 10, that top 15 range of the division.
Ugas is better than those guys, but the other name, Benavidez, Jamal James, and then Lipinets. Those guys could kind of all beat each other. They're all, but Ugas is better than those guys.
I mean, Thomas Delorme put some hands on him, but digressing from that.
But Delorme's in that group too. Delorme's good.
Put Jesse Vargas in that group too. I'll put Jesse Vargas in that group. Where like Vargas, Benavidez, who would win that fight?
Lipinets, Vargas. Who you got?
Oh, Lipinets. Hands down.
Salty Lipinets.
On
his anti-DAZN shit right now.
Dude, Lipinets is just pure salt all the time on social media, which is hilarious because you don't expect, someone that doesn't speak English to be on social media as much as he is and to be as petty and salty as he is. Lipinets is a good follow, by the way, guys. But digressing from that point, who was it? I think it was Dwayne. Dwayne with a super chat, which is a good question I think we should ask. We're sort of looking forward. He's saying, think Crawford should leave Uncle Bob for Uncle Al. But moving forward, and thank you for the super chat, Dwayne. Always a long-time listener and supporter. Appreciate it. What should Crawford do next? Should he look to make that Sean Porter fight that they've been kind of talking about this fight week, it seems? It seemed like the Danny fight's the fight that Crawford wants, but Danny doesn't really want, to be honest. And plus, Danny's looking for a Manny Pacquiao Earl Spence fight, which is, in his mind, more money, and I can see why he thinks that. So what, like, if you're playing matchmaker, if you can control boxing right now with a realistic options and outcomes and what can happen, what do you do? How do you pick Crawford's next 12 months, his next fight. Gary,
Well,
Rob.
If I control boxing, it's Errol Spence.
Yeah, but let's be realistic about this for 1 second. Yeah. Let's say you work within Top Rank. Like, what do you do? How do you, if you're a Top Rank's matchmaker, what do you tell Bob? How do you approach Crawford? What do you try to angle for the fight?
If I'm Bob, I go to Al and I say, but let's make a deal. Give me Keith, give me Sean, give me Danny. I don't care. Pick one. Give me one of those three guys, which would likely be Sean. Because Keith, I don't know if he's coming back, and Danny doesn't want to fight. So it would likely be Porter. We'll do that over on ESPN, pay-per-view. And then I'll give you a 60-40 split on your network for the Spence Crawford fight. Done? Good deal. Or if Pacquiao, whoever you'd rather have. Done. Okay, good? Good. We're done. Like that's how I would do it. I don't know how you say no to that because, I mean, the Crawford fight on ESPN would do well. And that'd be a good check for Al.
For Porter, right?
For Porter. Yeah. Porter would do a good number.
Offsets costs for Fox and Showtime. It allows you to collect another 10 million in terms of network budget to another fight, another event. It would be smart in a way. And then on vice versa, you get Crawford Spence on your network in a way, if that were to be the case.
You got to be smart enough to know that you're not getting a 50-50 split in that fight. Like you just have to know that.
Not anymore. Like there was a day and age where you can make that argument, but
not there. I mean, look at the pay-per-view numbers that Spence has done compared to he's done 350 and 375.
Yeah.
Crawford did 200.
Yeah.
Did it even hit 200?
No. I mean, there's a report. I've seen 200 out there, but I've seen more 150 and 175.
I heard like 175, 180, but then
But
so
it's
I can call it 200.
Gary's adding on the other one as well.
They're both, just add that bit to it. Yes, yes.
Plus 50.
Or just ticket sales. I know like Spence isn't like a massive ticket draw, but I mean his gate for the Staples event was like over 2 million. I want to say, in terms of gate revenue for the Porter fight, that's a decent, healthy gate. It's not Canelo numbers, it's not Pacquiao numbers, it's not Wilder numbers, but that's a healthy fucking gate. That's over double what Tyson Fury is getting. ESPN's $100 million heavyweight. Crawford's a guy that's not really drawing in terms of revenue at the gate, especially in big markets. He can draw a good attendance in Omaha, as we know, but similar to like Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez has never sold above or never had a gate revenue above, I think, $200,000 in Fresno, even though he sold 15,000 tickets. But he's never made over $200,000 in gate revenue. Wow. I want to say that's true.
Giving those tickets away for like $10.
Well, it's Fresno, man. It's not a big market. Same with Omaha, Nebraska. Like you can't make money
from, like San Francisco and Oakland in that market.
4 hours, let's say.
Oh, forget that. Yeah, okay. You're not driving from San Francisco to Fresno to watch the fight.
Short end, maybe 2.5 hours if you're fucking booking it, no traffic.
100 miles an hour.
Yeah, no. From LA, you're looking at 2 hours, 3 hours. No, that's more. Probably closer to 3 or 4, to be honest. Sometimes 6.
Baseball tournament in Fresno when I was a teenager. I remember oil fields, right? They have oil in Fresno.
Yeah, I have family in Fresno and Bakersfield and that like whole Central Valley area. But like it's not a financially lucrative market because it's not a bunch of rich people in Fresno. It's a bunch of Central Valley workers, basically. That's the families that live there. Some in Omaha, Nebraska, it's a small market in terms of economic potential. New York, LA, these are big markets that you can make a lot of money in. Crawford has really struggled in those markets. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's been ESPN. I don't know if it's been Top Rank. But digressing from that point, I agree with you a lot, Gary. Rob, if you're playing matchmaker here, if you're Bob Arum, if you're someone in control of Crawford's career, what do you do next?
By the sounds of it, bringing up some 140s, but no, that's what he's saying. Prograis, he mentioned Ramirez, he's mentioned Josh Taylor, all 140 guys, and I can see why. I mean, Matt, I sent a link earlier saying what Joshua has said to Wilder, and you were like, don't bring up all Joshua Wilder stuff. I ain't interested. It ain't happening. So I don't want to talk about any Crawford with PBC fighters right now because they ain't happening either. I don't know. Maybe the Porter fight, maybe that can get done, but just because Bob seems to think it will sell well, does it even happen? I don't know. It's Bud's just got to get out of his contract. That
Yeah.
pure and simple for me. I don't know where his career is going. I saw a link somewhere. Did Crawford say he's moved to 160? Did I see that somewhere?
Yeah. Homie Kendrick from Slipping the Podcast, he interviewed him. I didn't check out the interview. I just saw the headline. Obviously, homie, so I retweeted. But I need to check out if he said that, because I don't know why he's saying that.
Nah. What, he's going to fight at 160 and bring up a 135?
It's one of those things where,
Go fight Rob Brandt.
In a part of his head, but it's not actually. I mean, this is not actually going to happen. Like, who's he going to fight? He's going to fight Canelo? He's going to fight Triple G?
And let's be honest, the economics of
Murata.
let's be honest, the economics of PBC fights are far easier than a DAZN fight, right? Like, it's for the same reason we've always heard why it's easier to make Wilder Fury 2 than a Wilder AJ fight, because DAZN and Fox economics are just completely different. They're structural, the way they're structured is just completely different. I can't imagine Bob making a Terrence Crawford DAZN fight with Canelo. I just can't imagine that. Like, maybe he does, but like, I don't think that he ever does that. I just don't think those networks like to play ball with DAZN in any way, which is a shame. That they haven't figured out a way to find a co-network deal with a streaming app and a TV network. I think, honestly, Crawford has to, like Rob said, get out of his contract to make those fights at welterweight. Maybe he gets a Sean Porter fight, because Sean Porter's, the redheaded stepchild of the welterweight division for Al Heyman, it seems. Like, he fights everyone, man.
We keep saying for him to get out of his contract, and maybe he can, but maybe he doesn't want to. I don't know what they offer him. I don't know what the contract is. But what if it's a ton of money? It's like, no, I'm not walking away. Like, I have a contract. I can't walk away from that.
But I think
you might be right, because he keeps saying, "I don't need them; they need me." So I don't know.
ESPN, Disney, HD. This is a bold statement. I mean, they have Mickey Mouse. I don't know that they need Terrence Crawford.
they don't.
Yeah, that's a bold statement.
Look, let's be honest here, guys. Terrence Crawford, while a significantly talented and skilled fighter, isn't the draw that a lot of other guys in his division are. Just point blank and simple. Even guys like Danny Garcia, like, he's just not the draw that some of these guys are.
He doesn't have the mouthpiece. He's not from a big city. He doesn't have a natural market like a Puerto Rican fighter would, or something like that.
But let me finish. Here's the thing. He may have a great deal with ESPN, because he probably does. He's making good money on the back end and up front that we know of. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, that he's making money that's comparable with a lot of the PBC guys. However, I think you can get that deal, if not better, from PBC, from anyone, right? Like, if Crawford's that level of talent, and in today's market, which is still a market that he could really sort of shop himself to and find a lot of above market value in terms of deals. I don't know why, like, that wouldn't be something in his mind. He's seen everyone else make bank comparative to what they're worth. And for a guy that, we've talked about not being as much of a draw as other guys in the division, he can make so much more than he's already making, which is probably alrety above market value because of the current market. So if he's smart, he does get out as fast as possible and shop himself to DAZN, Matchroom, back to Top Rank, to re-sign, to PBC, anyone and everyone. Because why not? It's the market you're in. Jesse Vargas got the current deal he got because of the market he's in. Terrence Crawford in a way re-signed with Top Rank, I want to say, 2 years ago? In 2017?
It was right after, right after the Horn fight, right?
Yeah, that was right before we saw the significant paradigm shift of DAZN. It was right before that. So he caught the tail end of the ESPN comeback into the sport, but he missed the market that included Fox, included Showtime that re-upped their deal by double with PBC in terms of monetary value. He missed out on the DAZN money. Like, there's a lot of money that he missed out on because he just he didn't catch the wave. He was right before it. And I don't know when he's going to be up on his contract. I think, I want to say I heard a rumor of 2022, 2023, I want to say. But
wait a minute, now it is mid 30s. He's 32 now.
I think so. Add another 3 years when he's 35, 36. I think that's probably when he's going to be a free agent, to be honest, unfortunately.
I mean, and he still may have a year or two left. But, I mean, that's why the time to make that Spence fight is now, because it's going to be a good fight. And, like, if we want a rematch, like, don't do this when Crawford is old. Like, let's not make this Pacquiao and Mayweather. Like, let's do this now while they're both still in their prime. Let's not wait on this and then say, well, Crawford was old, so we don't know what would have happened if they would have fought when he was, like, let's just do this now.
Quickly, Eddie, because I feel like people don't understand this. Can you make back-end money when there's no back-end revenue? As in, like, the event doesn't make a ton of revenue? Yes, if it's in your contract, they have to find the money somewhere. Like, that's when, like, the network pays out of pocket. That's when investors pay out of pocket. That's when you see that stuff, to be honest. So it does happen. That's how it happens. It just means that you're at more of a loss, whether it's in investors or the networks. To be honest, that's how it works. But digressing, let's get to the fight that everyone loves this weekend, the hardcore fight of the weekend. Unless anyone else has any other points about Crawford, what's next for him, Crawford, Kavaliauskas, anything of that sort.
Okay, we said who we want. Who do we think? Who do you think Crawford's fighting next?
I think Prograis or Ramirez are very likely, to be honest.
I agree.
Ramirez has got his mandatory in China, and then the WBO have put out that Jack Catterall is fighting him after that, so that's another mandatory.
But
so.
if he vacates and just moves up, it doesn't matter.
Well, I guess so. But
I could see because that fight's in February, right? Against Postal, it's somewhere around. It's early 2020, right?
Yeah, in February. Yeah.
I could see Crawford waiting, and they have that fight, let's say in May, June, July, around that time, and have a Crawford Ramirez fight. And Crawford just set out for the first quarter of 2020 because he's a 2-fight-a-year guy. He could fight in June or July, come back in November, because I think Ramirez, even though I respected Ramirez a lot more now, I don't think Ramirez is going to be as much of a challenge to Crawford as even a guy like Prograis would be or Taylor would be, just because of the style. And Crawford could bounce back and fight, hopefully, a Sean Porter end of 2020. Fingers crossed. But most likely maybe like Besputin if he gets past Ugas. Anything like that. Expect those matchups.
He ain't getting past Ugas.
He can. I mean, Delorme arguably did, let's be honest.
Besputin? Yeah, he wins.
But Delorme beats Besputin too.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that.
Nah.
You're really hating on that Besputin-Butia fight. That was a great fight.
Yeah, you're weird.
You know that I think Ugas is in that next level of
no, Ugas for a non-Texan is rarely in the same bracket of Texan love that you have. Like, it's like Virgil Ortiz, the Figueroas, then Ugas, and then like Omar Juarez.
No, I've always liked Lara is one of my favorite fighters ever. I don't know what it is. I like Cuban fighters. Like, I even like Gamboa, and he doesn't even fight like a Cuban fighter. But like Rigo and Lara, two of my favorite fighters ever.
No, I'm not hating. I'm just saying, I might pick Besputin in that fight. Like, I don't know about that. I might pick Ugas. I probably would pick Ugas, but I got to think about that one. But digressing from that, let's get to the marquee fight of the weekend for us hardcores. Richard Commey defending his IBF belt against upstart prospect Teofimo Lopez, and truly one of those fights that we could look back on and say this was the moment where Teofimo turned the corner, became the champion, and his ascendance to the top truly started. Or we're going to look back and say, man, look at that hype train that was Teofimo Lopez and how Richard Commey walked him down and beat him up and, showed that experience and grit and just, combination punching would beat out unnecessary finesse. But this fight is really intriguing to me, obviously, for the stylistic dynamic we have, or the technical dynamic we have here, the disparity we have between these two guys in terms of technique, in terms of style. It's a perfect matchup for boxing. Guys, Gary, I know you've been one that's like really hyped on this one that wants to hear all of our picks. So I want to hear your pick first.
First, this reminds me of something. I want to say I was in 9th grade. I think it was 1998. Might have been 97. Somebody asked me, when Floyd Mayweather fought Genaro Hernandez, if Mayweather's going to win. I was like, nah, this is way too big of a challenge. Like, Genaro Hernandez had just It wasn't that far off from beating Azuma Nelson. He'd only lost to De La Hoya at 135. Like, he was legitimate.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, no, this is way too early. This is a bad fight for Floyd. Floyd's going to lose. I'm not saying he's not going to be great in the future, but he's not great now, so he's not going to beat Gennaro Hernandez. And then he absolutely destroyed Gennaro Hernandez. I think it's like 5 rounds. Like, just lit him up. So, like, but Floyd ended up being that great. So now I'm kind of thinking like the same thing. Okay, Teofimo Lopez is going to fight Richard Commey. There's no way this early in his career he beats Richard Commey. If he beats Richard Commey, I'm going to be shocked. Like, I think he has moments. I think he hurts. I think Commey can be hit a lot. But I think eventually Commey breaks him down. I don't think that Teofimo is necessarily winning the fight at any point, but I think there's a lot of action, a lot of even action. Both guys are landing early. And I think just Commey's man strength, although both guys are really big for lightweights.
Yeah, they are.
I think it's his man strength, his experience starts to break him down. And I think he starts to really beat him up 8th or 9th round. I'm going to officially say 9th round stoppage for Commey. But it's going to be all action. And in the first 5-6 rounds, they're going to be trading a lot of big leather. But I think it's just Commey is too skilled right now. And he's too big and strong and too experienced.
I won't use the term skilled per se, but
it's probably the wrong word. That's why I said big.
Yeah. That last fight from Commey was an eye opener on his lack of a complete skill set. But digressing from that, I'll get to my breakdown in a second. Rob, I want to get yours. Commey Lopez, go.
I'm going to go with the underdog.
Yeah.
Which is Commey.
Is he the underdog, really?
Yeah.
God, man, the bookies love Teofimo Lopez, don't they?
Yeah, he's like, what would it be in the US? It's like a.
Well, what's in the UK? Just say the UK now.
It's like a 2.5 underdog, favorite. Sorry.
Oh, so he's like minus 250.
Yeah, 250. Yeah,
give or take.
And Commey is like a plus 170 or one.
It's not too bad. There's no, the odds
are. It's close enough. Like it's a tight fight, but yeah, I'm going to go with Commey. I think. I just think he's got a lot of experience. Teofimo, while I find him really exciting, I thought he seemed to struggle with is it the Japanese guy? He was quite
Nakatini.
Yeah, tall, rangy fighter, and Richard Commey is a tall, rangy kind of lightweight, in my opinion. So, and I think he's going to carry a hell of a lot more power than the Japanese guy, Nakatani or whatever. So that might be the difference. And I mean, look, if we'll find out if Lopez has got a chin. If he has, I think he's got a great chance of beating Commey and coming away with it. But I'm going to go with, similar to Gary, actually, probably maybe a late stoppage for Commey. But that's maybe, I thought the unpopular pick, but then Gary picked it. So, yeah.
Well,
go with Lopez, Matt. You're set for a win here.
We're going to go Commey across the board here. Let's see if I'm right.
I think you're right, Gary. I am of this mindset, okay, that Teofimo Lopez's path to victory is actually very simple. Because we saw in the Beltran fight with Richard Commey. If he's going backwards, Commey has zero footwork, no balance, really can't throw off the back foot while he's moving. He doesn't really have counters to his name. Like, Commey going backwards is just a shit fighter. Let's just be honest about it. Commey going forward is a completely 180-degree different fighter than when he is going backwards. So if Teofimo Lopez can get him going backwards, can get Commey on the back foot and start slipping shots, start firing off, he could have a lot of success and win this fight in a really easy fashion, to be honest. I just don't know if Lopez is that guy to do that. He's not really a guy that I would define as a pressure fighter. Not saying he doesn't have that in him. I just have never seen that. 2, when we have seen Lopez in with a tough fighter like Nakatini, what was his first sort of gut reaction or muscle memory movement? To get on the back foot and move. So I think instantly he would probably fall into Commey's trap of allowing Commey to be the aggressor. And because of that mindset that I have that I can't seem to get out of. And I know that, again, I laid out why or how Lopez could easily win. I don't see how he could actually do that game plan. I don't see that as being his style. And pressuring a guy like Commey is difficult. Easter couldn't do it. It took a guy like Beltran to do it because Beltran is a tough, durable, gritty Mexican fighter. And I don't think Lopez is that guy. I think Lopez is a finesse fighter. He's a slick boxer. And I think because of that natural style, he's going to want to be on the back foot, want to be moving. And Commey is going to have all of the latitude to be the aggressor, to be the come forward combination artist. And because that's his wheelhouse, that is his game, he's going to give Lopez a ton of issues in this fight, in my opinion. And that's how I see the fight going. I think it's going to be one-way traffic largely throughout, with Lopez having success in pockets, but Commey getting maybe a late TKO finish, with Lopez really not having a complete game yet. On top of it, having too much of a stagnating training environment, in my opinion, with his father being his head coach. As you know, anyone that's listened to me for any period of time, I do not like fathers as trainers, just as a rule of thumb. I just do not like it. Especially if that's been your trainer your entire life as an amateur, and then when you become a pro, that's still the same trainer you have. You don't grow as a fighter, in my opinion. And we have yet to see Lopez really ever grow from when he sort of burst on the scene. We haven't seen any improvement. We haven't seen any new development in his game. He's been the same fighter. While the same fighter is really talented and really gifted, it's been the same fighter. And you can't be the same fighter against Richard Commey. But guys, any thoughts on this fight? Any more sort of angles you want to tackle this one on?
I want Lopez to win because
yes,
young, exciting guy, got everything you would want as far as personality and exciting and that. But I guess that doesn't give him the right to be the champion if just because Commey isn't maybe that guy. But yeah, I just don't know if it's just a little too soon. And then Bob's talking about March for if Lopez or the winner of this March for Lomachenko. So I don't know. I'd like it to be Lopez because he is exciting. It could draw in that younger crowd and whatever. But I just don't know if it's a little too soon for him just now.
And I think regardless of who wins, though, let's be honest, Lomachenko is going to win. He's going to beat the winner of this fight. That's what's next.
Thought I was going to shock y'all with this pick. Wait till we get to that one.
If you pick Richard Commey to beat Lomachenko, Foogatti is going to have a heart attack.
At a certain point, someone's just too big and strong for you. I never really thought Lomachenko was a real lightweight, and Richard Commey is a massively big, strong lightweight with concussive power. But let's get through this one first.
Anyways, the undercard stacked with a lot of the top-ranked prospects. You have obviously Michael Conlan avenging, I should say, the amateur loss in the Rio Olympics to Vladimir Nikitin in this event. You have George Kambosos Jr., who was, I think, aligned for Lomachenko fight. At least he was rumored for at some point. He's not fighting Mickey Bay on this card. Edgar Belonga, who is the undefeated super middleweight, who's just signed with Keith Conley, who's a big-time manager in the sport. He's fighting some guy named Cesar Nunez. Julian Rodriguez, one of the Rodriguez brothers, is fighting Manuel Mendez. And Josue Vargas is fighting Noel Murphy. Overall, decent card, to be honest. I really like the Kambosos Jr. Mickey Bay fight, to be honest. Conlan Nikitin is a fine fight. Even though I'm not a big believer on Michael Conlan's abilities and his ceiling, so to speak, but I think that's a fine fight to make. It makes sense, especially having some amateur bad blood there. I'm always in favor of those type of matchups. Guys, any other thoughts on this card?
No, I think Conlan is at his ceiling. I think Conlan's a great amateur boxer. I don't mean that to insult him, but that's what he is. As a pro, he's limited, but as an amateur, his style is great.
Anyone in the UK looking to catch this card, I do believe it's available through Fight TV for £14. Oh my God. So that's going to have about as many people buy that as got the Charlo Hogan card on Premier Sports for $12.99 a month or whatever it was.
I think that one got more probably though. You bank
What?
alone. 5 more people, it matters. It's more. This one will have 0.
I think 5 got it.
Maybe one poor bastard.
A one-off $12 pay-per-view at 4 a.m.
You can watch
Hogan.
You can watch ice hockey, okay?
Well, there is that, yeah.
Yeah.
I was pissed because the San Jose Sharks and the whoever were taken off there just to put the Charlo Hogan fight on. I was not a happy NHL customer, I'll tell you that.
Nobody cares about hockey. Nobody.
Exactly.
Canadians do. Canadians do, okay?
Ice is stupid. You know what's more stupid than ice? Playing games on ice.
Yeah, true. And Gary, I know you're nearly there, but 40-year-old eyes trying to keep up watching. That's why I can watch worst TV sport in the world.
I can't watch hockey. I don't know where the puck is. I can't follow it. Like I feel like you got to be one of those 3-card Monty experts to watch hockey. Like I don't know where the puck is.
Hold on. Is it worse than golf in terms of TV?
Nothing is worse than golf on TV. We played the soccer, hockey, golf. Golf's the worst. Golf is the worst.
Yeah, I mean, golf is because it's longer. Like a hockey game is at least like what? Like I don't know how long those games are, to be honest. They can't be that long.
Soccer game can't be that long.
I don't know. If it's the Ryder Cup, the Ryder Cup's good to watch.
Anyway,
because it's Europe. Oh yeah, it's America used to be able to win like half the time, but they just lose basically every time now.
Yeah.
When was the last time the U.S. won? It's been a while, probably 10 years.
Maybe. Anyway, going down
a rabbit hole of sports we all hate.
Oh, Gary, you mentioned soccer. You said something soccer, golf.
Oh, of those 3, soccer, golf, hockey, soccer's the best, and golf's the worst. Golf is awful.
Yeah, soccer is.
And my dad is like a golf junkie. He used to leave it on like all Sunday afternoons. Like and it goes like 12 hours.
Golf.
Like, oh man, this is brutal.
Yeah, I had an uncle that was a golf junkie, and like every Thanksgiving, golf was on.
I just
hated that uncle. Fucking asshole. But anyways, guys, let's get to some more boxing. We have another card this weekend, which we're going to slightly break down, but, not really break down. Just going to be Gary ranting about Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz is fighting Brad Solomon. Hold on. On Friday night on, I want to say it's DAZN. But this could be one of the Facebook cards.
Oh, true. Yeah. No, I think it is DAZN. I think
because it doesn't say here, but I'll check again on another site what it is as Gary is ranting and professing his love to Virgil Ortiz. But this fight is a complete tune-up and showcase, and I don't want to see this fight at all. To be honest,
Gary,
this is actually not even a sidestep in opposition. This is a 10-step backwards in terms of opposition, in my opinion. From Mauricio Herrera.
I nearly sent it to the pre-pro chat, but Solomon has promised he's going to take Ortiz to places he has never been before.
That sounds dirty. Gary?
Again, I think it's Virgil Ortiz, but I'm not that into it because it's Brad Solomon. Like, it is what it is. I mean, they wanted to get him another fight before the year was over. So this is what they got. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many names they had to go down. They took the fight on relatively short notice from what I understand. I think the fight wasn't finalized until late November. I mean, again, I'm going to watch it, obviously, because it's my boy. But this fight doesn't really move the needle for me.
Such a bad fight.
It's not great.
No.
It's not great.
I mean, I think we talked about this when it was announced, Gary, or maybe we were offline talking about this. On the show, but like Brad Solomon's like inactivity. I'm trying to go back to it right now. He fought a bunch in 2014, fought 3 times in 2014, fought twice in 2015, fought once in 2016, fought once in 2017, fought once in 2018, and now he's fighting once in 2019. Like, I don't want to see a guy that's, not dedicated to the sport and not trying at all. Like, I don't care to see that. Even though Solomon at one point was like a red hot prospect in a way, I don't care to see a guy that doesn't care for the sport, that doesn't get knockouts, all of a sudden fighting one of the better prospects of the welterweight division when he should be fighting the Lipinets, the Ugas, the Jesse Vargases of the world. Like, I don't understand how those matchups aren't getting made instead of these.
He said he wants like Thurman and all that. So yeah, when?
But Brad Salomon does?
No. Ortiz.
Play the game, Gary. Come on, play the game.
But like Jesse Vargas, why doesn't that fight get made?
Yeah, that's a good fight. Make that fight.
That's a main event. You can put that in some small market to sell it with the Mexican demographic completely. I don't understand why you don't make that matchup. It's in-house for the zone. And it's a legitimately good fight. And
You're paying Vargas all this money. You better make him earn it, right? You make him earn it.
Jesse's earning it against Mikey. What are you talking about?
I don't want to see that. Anyways, sorry, Rob, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's just Gary was miming. I said you're muted, Gary.
Yeah, I said that fight's not happening. He's fighting Pacquiao. This is a negotiating chip.
All right, then Mike is available. Who wins that, Gary?
They wouldn't fight each other.
Why?
Are they in the same camp?
Robert Garcia. I mean, they could. I mean, if the money's right,
Gary.
I mean, I don't see the money being big enough that they would take that fight.
Who wins, Gary?
If I pick Virgil Ortiz, then I have to pick Virgil Ortiz to beat Pacquiao. You know what? I'm going in down with that ship. Ortiz versus the world.
So you've got Mikey beating Pacquiao.
You know what?
Virgil Ortiz beating.
And Virgil beats Pacquiao too.
Here's the thing. I would pick Mikey to beat Virgil Ortiz, obviously. But I mean, that's where we get into the conversation of like Mikey Garcia just being too small for the division. Because Ortiz is a legitimate welterweight prospect in terms of size and power, and Mikey is a lightweight that's fighting at welterweight because it's more money. And that would be an interesting fight. I would say that. I would rather see that fight than Jesse Vargas, Mikey Garcia. I would rather see Mikey versus Virgil Ortiz than any iteration Jesse Vargas with the top 5 or 7 guys in the division. I don't care.
Whose corner is Robert Garcia in?
His brother, man.
Because if you have me, there's got to be no one that knows Mikey better than Robert. So if you put that in my corner, I'm going to take Virgil.
That pay him off.
What if Mikey's mum was available and she would the brother then go and help Ortiz out? Because surely the mother knows him better than the brother, right?
Ooh, good point. Good points. There's not much on this card. Alexis Rocha, good prospect on this card. Von Alexander, a guy that I know and been watching for a while. He's been fighting like every super middleweight prospect there is, it seems. Fought Anthony Sims. Fought a bunch of guys. God, who else did he fight? Let me go back. Money Powell, the fourth, beat him. That was a good win for him. Fought Dennis Douglin. Fought Janabek Alamikuli. Another prospect. He's that guy that's clearly the barometer stick for all super middleweight prospects. He's not fighting a guy named, sorry, I'm pronouncing this wrong already, Betimir Melikuziev. Actually, I might have got that one right. I might have been right. I don't know this guy, but he's an undefeated prospect. So
he's a hot prospect. Yep.
Hot prospect.
That's a good fight. Let's see where that kid's at.
Yeah, I'm taking Alexander.
I know there's a bunch of Uzbekistan amateurs that are now on the pros, and he's one of those Uzbekistanis. Uzbeks?
I think either one is okay.
Five.
I think Uzbek or Uzbekistani.
But digressing, not a lot on this card in terms of like value here. Guys, any thoughts on the rest of this undercard? No,
Alex Rincon, no Tanahara, no. Well, those guys are all fighting in January in San Antonio, I think.
Yeah. There's not a lot here, to be honest.
What about Trevel Maison? Like, why put him on the card? Like, just fill out the card with prospects I know.
Gary's just saying names that aren't on the card right now.
But I'm saying those are Golden Boys prospects who we know.
Gary's making up names right now. That's the best part.
Who?
Golden Boy doesn't have this many prospects, let's be honest.
They just signed what's it?
Gary, we believe you. Okay, we're just you have to look it up right now.
They just signed who was it? Hernandez.
Not Nico Hernandez, right? I thought they already had him. Or no, Matchroom has Nico Hernandez. Who am I thinking of?
I don't think Matchroom has him. He was just for Wichita.
No, Mulvane.
Mulvane, yeah.
Mulvane. Wichita is actually a known city.
I'm saying that name, right? Am I saying that wrong?
Who?
Travell Maison.
I don't know who that is. I
Black Magic. I don't know if you're saying it right.
He fought Black Magic, like the witchcraft, like he fought actual Black Magic
by himself.
What a legend!
A world champion, definitely.
Did he go to Hogwarts?
Did he win?
Yo, did Voldemort win or did he win? I need to know now.
Black Magic did the dark side defeat? You know the good.
Oh god, that was the best shit ever.
He beat Black Magic.
I like how Gary said that. Like we should know.
Yeah.
Who Black Magic is? Some pro wrestling name. Yes, Gary.
Okay.
Is he fighting next? Magic Mike?
Send me a link. Put a link in the chat, Gary, of this the guy's box track.
The guy's name.
Can we put?
Am I saying it right? We're not seeing it.
Can we put links in the chat?
Yeah, you can put it in this chat.
Oh, our chat. Okay.
Well, don't put it in anyone else's because we probably won't see it.
You can put it either in the StreamYard chat or the whatever it is.
Clickable.
It's not, but I can just copy and paste.
Oh, fuck me.
No, I'm now curious who the fuck Gary's talking about. We're gonna take time off the show to talk about this.
Yeah, it's not getting late or anything.
No, it's not. No, I have no idea who this guy is.
Rabbit Hole City. Is he saying it right then?
He fought
I think he's saying it right.
The Thursday card they had on the Facebook, and then they
Spell the surname.
Rob, I'm gonna put it in the chat for you. Don't worry.
Mazion, and then he fought on
in the chat.
the Virgil Ortiz card in Dallas.
I have no idea who this guy is. I mean, I bet I've seen him before.
You have seen him before,
but I don't. Who's Black Magic?
That's his nickname.
Oh, wait, he beat himself?
I said his name. They call him Black Magic.
I swore you said he beat Black
No,
Magic.
you did. You said he beat Black Magic.
No, they call.
They call him Black Magic.
No, I swear to God, Gary, go back and listen to the show. You said he beat Black Magic.
Look, we both heard you say that, so
it's now facts.
I mean, we could all play it back. I mean,
are we going to get to the
I know what
DAZN?
I said. I was there when I said it.
Yeah,
We're going to
let's
get to tomorrow's DAZN Spain card or what?
No, I didn't have that up. I'm sorry. I apologize.
David Avanesian's fighting. Come on.
I didn't think that was picked up on DAZN. I apologize.
I don't know if it is actually. I know it's DAZN Spain, but I don't know if it's across their territories.
I'll check and see if it was picked up. I apologize.
Does Avanesian fight at 154?
No, 147. Wait, at least he did.
I mean, when guys are old and bad, a lot of times they move up and weight because, you know, why bother cutting weight?
Yes.
I'm going to lose anyway. Might as well be comfortable.
You're right. It is picked up by DAZN. I apologize. Sandor Martin versus Joe Hughes as well. That's about it. I mean, there's not a lot on this card.
No.
Whatever happened to Konstantin Ponomarov?
He lost, didn't he? Didn't he lose in a fight? And
I don't even remember the last time he fought because I thought he beat Solomon.
Yeah,
that was the fight that Solomon was supposed to be his breakthrough, and then he lost.
I will check right now. Hold on. Don't worry, Rob. After this, okay, we will go to the DAZN numbers. Okay, I apologize.
No, he's just ping-ponging names around this.
And I am curious now. He lost to Sergey Voroblev last year and hasn't been seen since. Oh no, sorry. Then fought earlier this year and lost again. That's why I haven't seen him. He lost twice in a row.
Oh, that's enough.
Yeah.
Ooh, could have happened to Joshua.
Deep thought there from Rob. Anyways, moving on. Let's get to